Welcome back to another episode of the 7th D Podcast. This is Keith.
This is Chris.
Today we're going to go over some fantasy. But I guess we'll start with a little bit of news this past week.
Yep, the surprise firing of Michel Therrien, and for the second time, we are seeing Claude Julien hired to replace him, because apparently they're just going to keep switching back and forth until they actually make the playoffs or win a cup again.
Which neither may actually happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's issues still that lie there. I mean, I was a little surprised. Montreal is still first in their division. They've been on a skid, but
Yeah.
you don't usually see the first place team in a division fire their coach. Granted, he's known to be a bit of a handful.
Yeah.
Players don't always seem to like him. There's always some issues. And Claude Julien is a great replacement. I mean, he's a great coach.
Yeah.
But
We'll see what happens from here on out.
yeah, if they can turn it back around, get off the skid.
Yeah, they're starting to slow down a little bit, but...
Yeah, we'll see if they can pick it back up. And so ends the news.
Where should we start for this? I guess we'll give some advice on some players we like recently, some who's been hot.
Who's been hot? Who was a dud this year?
Yeah, maybe some people we think's a little bit of a sleeper going on right now.
Yeah, there are some players around that even still you just look at them and go, they're going to turn it around at some point. You know,
Yep.
It's late in the year, but...
One player who's really turned it around from the beginning, for being such a high draft pick, Jamie Benn's been going off the past few
Yeah,
weeks.
he got off to a really, really slow start this year, and I was mad because when we had our fantasy draft, which we should also, I guess, state, we do categories.
Yeah, we do.
We don't do a point system like FanDuel.
Yeah, so I mean, we have plus minus counts for us, hits count for us, and blocks also count.
He has a category,
Yeah.
goals, assists, power play points.
We have done some of the other ones, so when we're talking goals and assists for these players, that will count point system.
Yeah,
But I mean, in his past 13 games, 9 goals, 9 assists.
yeah. I mean, when we were at the draft, because I had traded and gotten draft picks 2 and 3, my plan was to take Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin.
Yeah,
and
we
then-
had the new guy in, and we're like, you might want to go Ben.
Well, you were like, you might want to go Ben. I was telling him to take Ovechkin or someone else
Eh.
so that he wouldn't take my 2 man crushes and or one of my 2 man crushes. Instead, he took Jamie Benn, and then I ended up with Tarasenko and Ovechkin at 2 and 3,
Yeah, which
which I'm not complaining about. But
at the beginning of the year was the better option, I guess.
yeah, at first I was like, oof, glad he took Jamie Benn because he's not doing so much, and now he's just.
Imagine what your team would look like right
Sniping.
now with Ben on it.
Imagine what the Dallas Stars would look like if they had a goalie.
This is true.
I guess you could even another not surprise. We all know Brent Burns is a fantastic player, but the numbers this year: 25 goals, 36 assists from defense. He's like
Yeah.
third, fourth in the NHL in scoring on defense. That's insane.
He was definitely one of the steals of our draft.
Yes, he was. Because I
He
mean,
went, what, late first, early second?
eighth
in a
I
12th man
think, or
league?
10th or something like that. He was
Yeah.
taken. So I mean, I considered taking him up that high, but I was like, you can't take a defenseman at 2 or 3. I kind of wish I had.
I remember sitting across the table because our one other guy, Keith, who was on a previous episode, I'm like, go Burns. He's like, I don't know.
Go Burns. He leads like the league in shots right now. He's ahead of Ovechkin in shots. 231 to 212.
That's kind of a neat little stat right there.
Yeah, and he's also got more points than Ovechkin.
Yeah.
And he's got the same amount of power play points. Obviously, because he's a defenseman, he's getting
Yeah.
more time on ice. Brent Burns is more valuable than Ovechkin.
Like, he could have been one of the first overall picks as a defenseman.
Yes. Also, we also had a bit of a surprise. I considered also 2, because I didn't know who to take with my 2-3. Connor McDavid. Didn't know if he was going to take that major leap this year. I thought it might
Yeah.
take another year, but
He was worth the first round selection.
boy, I think my brother got him at 8, actually.
Yeah.
And boy, he got a steal on that, the top point getter in the league. I mean, he's just put the team on his back and is
Yeah.
leading them to a playoff.
I
berth.
pretty much took a nap in the first 3 rounds. I didn't have a pick till the middle
Yeah,
of the
because
fourth.
you just traded them all away and had like 8 picks in a matter of 2
and
rounds.
walked away with Brad Marchand.
Which was a steal because you got him in 4th or 5th round?
Like the beginning of the 5th round.
Yeah, and he's about at the same points as Tarasenko.
He's got more points than Tarasenko. He's got a better plus minus than Tarasenko.
Which is impressive and a steal for you. But I guess if we could even look at maybe some of the top round duds.
Yeah, we'll go some of those.
PK Subban, I mean, he had a little bit of the injury problem, but he's only got 22 points in 40 games. I've watched him play this year. He seems to be playing a much more defensive style than he ever did in Montreal, and he's just not. He's not been putting up the points.
Maybe Oliver was taken even before
by me.
Him, yeah.
I expected a little more because I thought Arizona would be better than they are this year, at least a little bit better.
I thought their youth would blow up, but they just didn't.
Another major disappointment has got to be Anze Kopitar. The Kings really needed him to score a lot of goals this year because they don't have a lot of depth, and he's got 6. That really doesn't do much for them. And if you drafted him up high, which he did go in our league, you're super disappointed by that production. I mean, he's got a fair amount of assists, but it's not enough. You need him to score some goals. 32 points in 49 games is not enough.
I mean, you can't count Stamkos as a dub with 20 points in his 17 games, but then he got hurt.
Yeah.
So who knows if he's coming back? I mean, if whoever has him in your league is maybe willing to trade him for some like borderline waiver free agent, see if you can get him.
Yeah, it might be worth a shot.
Yeah, don't offer like a Landeskog or something for it.
Yeah, because that's not fair. I mean, especially when
Landeskog will more than likely be traded,
and his value is going to spike even more. And Stamkos might not even come back and play this year. They said if the Lightning don't get back into the playoff hunt
if they don't look like they're going to make a good playoff push,
then they're just going to sit him for the year.
Which they might want to do that anyway. They're young enough.
Yeah, you don't want. I mean, he's had. This is a couple injuries now. A couple times he's had injuries with legs and things like that. There's no reason to rush him back and play him again because
next year they'll have their sure starting goalie.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, and after a while, those leg injuries really start to pile up, and you see players slow down.
Yep.
You really got to
especially when his legs were one of his big parts of his game.
Yeah, his power, his speed, the stride that he gets.
Jonathan Quick also, he was hurt.
Yeah, right from the get-go, and still hasn't come back. But that also creates the open door for Peter Budaj, who has been. If you were the guy that got Peter Budaj,
like a DraftKings FanDuel, he's been getting shutouts like crazy. That's tons of points.
He's leading or up there in shutouts this season, and he usually puts together good games. I mean, his win-loss record isn't quite as good as you'd hope. It's solid,
but he's a quality if you can find him on a cheaper end. If he's available
and he's
somewhere.
got a good matchup, anything like that, he's definitely worth playing. Another disappointment, Claude Giroux for me. 12 goals, 29 assists. Most of them came early on. He's been really cold after their streak ended. He just hasn't been getting it done.
He hasn't had a point in 7 games.
Yeah, that's not acceptable.
I didn't like him from the beginning.
I've always thought he's overrated.
Unless I'm seeing him in the late 3rd round, I'm going to pass on him all day.
Yeah. But on the same, when we were talking about, what's his name, Kopitar, you look just kind of below him in our league, and Jeff Carter. What a year he's having.
That was a steal.
Yeah, because Jeff Carter's kind of been, he's always kind of a little overlooked.
He's always been a little streaky with that goal scoring. He's always had it.
Yeah.
Then he'll go on streaks.
This year he's doing it all year long.
Yeah,
he's at 29 goals already.
And, like, Toffoli's not putting up numbers. Kopitar's not putting up numbers.
Yeah.
It's Jeff Carter.
When this year started, who did you really think that it would be Jeff Carter and Peter Budaj carrying this team to maybe the playoffs if they can make it there?
I would have, if you had me guess, Jeff Carter, he'd hit 30 goals.
Yeah. Maybe 60 points.
Yeah.
But have a good year, kind of whatever, his usual. But you wouldn't be blown out of the water by his production.
Yeah, not at all.
And he's been shooting quite a lot. I mean, he's at 172 shots on the year. He's getting it done on the power play. He's doing it all.
Got a couple other people, like Wayne Simmons was late.
John Klingberg also, another disappointing defenseman. He had such a great year last year. He had, I think, over 80 points.
Yeah.
And this year, it's not there.
Like when I picked him up as a free agent 2 years ago, I'm like, okay, wow. Like last year, Gostisbehere picked him up as a free agent. And every year, I just passed it him the next year. I'm like, they jumped way higher than I would expect in this board.
Yeah, because they went from like a free agent the one year that you picked him up. I did the same thing with Wayne Simmons early that one year. I picked him up off free agency.
Yeah, because
and the next year he was like in the top 100. It was like, okay, like
Wayne Simmons also cost me a championship.
Yeah, that also did happen.
When he got hurt, and I lost time on ice by 1 second.
Another surprise who went late. We can talk more about the middle rounds, who I think could have gone up higher, was Mark Scheifele.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't go to the middle rounds, and
well, both rookies went pretty late in our league.
yeah, I got Patrick Laine pretty late. I mean, the pick came to me, and I was surprised he was still there. I was like, hey, let me take a chance, and he's been fantastic for me.
Like, I felt like I jumped on Austin Matthews. Everyone's
like, too early.
Like, way too early. Yeah.
He's on pace to get 40 goals this year. I mean, he's just done everything. He's shooting. He's leading that team.
Yeah.
He's going to be the captain before long of that team.
What's sad is I grabbed him instead of Gabriel Landeskog.
And boy, did that pay off, considering how bad Colorado has been.
I passed on Andrew Ladd and Landeskog and went with him. And I am not looking back. And ended up trading him.
You ended up trading him to me. But, I mean, even if you look at Patrick Laine, he did suffer the concussion for some games, so he's been a little, he doesn't have quite as many games played. But 26 goals, 21 assists. For a rookie in Winnipeg, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean...
that's right, because I got Kuznetsov for that trade.
Yes, who, as soon as I traded him to you, became the player of the month.
I got my
January.
little smug smile on.
Thank you, Jeremy Clarkson. Loser! That was...
I guess stick it in Toronto. Mitch Marner.
Yeah. He's leading the rookies, I think, right now in points.
Yeah.
Didn't expect him to be quite a... Yeah, your team was very heavy on the rookies.
It always is. Like, I drafted Dylan Strome.
Yeah, that didn't quite work out so well for you. But, we can also talk about the goalies. Biggest disappointments in goalies so far this year, any of the goalies I drafted. Peter Mrazek. He's hovering around a 900 save percentage.
Yeah.
He kind of dips below and then goes over and then dips below again. Was expecting him to be the surefire number one, taking over in Detroit and have a great year. Awful. Jimmy Howard takes over until he gets hurt again. And now he still can't even take it away from Jared Coro, who's a rookie, who's never played in the NHL before. Steve Mason, terrible. Jake Allen has been terrible up until within the last week, was just pathetically bad.
Yeah. Being categories, like I grabbed Frederick Anderson and Robin Lehner, not expecting to ever win wins. And I don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, Lehner's putting up those numbers. If you're in a Fanduel situation, you want a reliable goalie.
Yeah.
With like a 50% chance of getting you a win.
But not going to give up 5 goals.
Yeah, who's
or
not going to give
like
you a big
that.
negative. Lehner's probably a very safe bet.
Anderson was a bit worrying early on this year. He started
dropped
off,
him at the beginning, but he's definitely came back.
Yeah.
After the All-Star break again,
he turned it right
fluttered away.
around and went right on fire. Yeah, he seems to I feel like he was that way in Anaheim too. He'd be great and for like a long stretch, and then he'd have a stretch of about 5 or 6 games where he couldn't stop a beach ball.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he goes on like a 15-game streak where he's on fire again.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's definitely seems to get a little off his game and then gets it right back and goes off again. It's good to have.
Yeah,
I guess also teams that drafted anyone who drafted Henrik Lundqvist even could be a little disappointed. Up until recently, again, he's turned it around.
Slowly going down for the past few years.
Slowly going down, but everyone always, he carries that big name with him.
Yeah. In like a DraftKings kind of league, like a auction league or something.
Yeah.
He's probably still pretty too expensive for what he's going to bring.
I mean, he's getting back to his game now. It'd be kind of safe I would feel, to take him in a FanDuel for a night.
Yeah.
You're relatively safe, but for a long time he was getting pulled, giving up 4 goals. Yep. And it wasn't really happening.
Jake Allen's, I think, finally turning it around, being the Jake Allen we thought he was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, he was supposed to be, everyone was like, He's good. The only reason he still got the starting job is because they didn't have a reliable backup. Although now all of a sudden both of them are playing really well.
Yeah.
Because what's the backup's name again? Hutton has 2 straight shutouts.
Yeah.
I think he's up to like 4 or 5 on the year or
Wow.
something like that now. So either he shuts you out or he gives up 5 or 6 goals.
Yeah.
That's it. You have one or the other.
Yeah, one goal I feel bad for is Mike Smith.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal all year, but
The team's just not been there for him. I mean, they had that streak where they beat the Penguins, the Sharks,
the Canadians,
the Canadiens, shut out the Flames,
and then lost Edmonton.
and they lost to Edmonton.
Another bit of a disappointment though this year is from like the middle rounds was Philip Forsberg.
Yeah.
I drafted him and then traded him.
He was just recently traded again.
He was just recently traded again in our league. I mean, he's up to 16 goals, 19 assists, but he was expected to be a point per game player, I felt.
Yeah, now, maybe not point
Maybe
per game,
70
but like,
points, 75 points.
70 points in a 82-game
Close,
season.
yeah. And, I mean, when I traded him, I mean, this was 30 games into the season, and he had, like, 5 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't scoring. He would get an assist here and there, but he could not find the back of the net.
I guess some players we should look at, maybe if they're available. Brandon Dubinsky's been on a tear.
Yeah, he's had an up and down season, but that line between him and also Boone Jenner, if he's available right now,
Alexander Wenberg.
they're putting up the points. Alexander Wenberg was a steal for you early this year when you.
I'm pretty sure I grabbed him like the second week.
Yeah, because it was like, oh, this guy's getting some ice time, and I need a defenseman.
There was a forward.
Forward.
You're
Forward.
thinking Werenski, who's kind of
Yeah, I always
drifted
mix
off.
Werenski and Wenberg together, but yeah, like it was kind of like, he's getting second line minutes.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes touching the first line. I'll get him, and he's now just been a monster.
Yeah. Other good free agents picked up this year. You got Justin Schultz.
Yeah, he's had a pretty solid one.
Ian Cole's been borderline.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, because he got some more time when Pittsburgh's defense got hurt a lot.
Yeah.
He'll get a point here and there, but he's good with secondary stats like hits and blocks. He gets some time on ice. Decent, not great, average time on ice. Jonathan Marchessault, though, he was I picked him up early this season.
Yeah, he was the name. Like
He wasn't
okay
on
with
anyone's
my prospects,
radar,
knowing
yeah.
their names, and he really wasn't on my radar for anything.
No.
You saw that he had like 2 or 3 good games.
Yeah, early on in the year, I dropped someone who hadn't done anything for me. I don't even remember who it was. And I was like, well, I know Huberdeau's hurt and this guy's hurt. And he's playing, on the top line. And I was like, I'll pick him up. And then he went on a, month-long tear where it was like every game, every other game, he scored me a goal, got me an assist, put up 4 shots, 3 shots.
That's pretty much what he's been doing all year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even a good Florida squad.
No, and he was never really expected to be a good offensive talent. He
as
was
far as
expected
their
to be
future-
depth.
As far as their future, they're going to be happy with him. Of late, Patrick Berglund, he's been scoring goals. So in a point system, he's not a bad guy to look at. He's not owned in too many leagues, but he's been on a little bit of a hot streak. Who else do we got? We got, I guess, in the Coyotes goal scoring and stuff lately, you got Christian Dvorak and Martin Hansel.
Yeah, and Max Domi's back too. So if he had been dropped, pick him up. He's been turning it on.
2 players I think people might want to look at: Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Martin Hansel.
They're both on the trading block.
Both on the trading block. Montreal is looking for a top center.
If you can grab one of them, if you have maybe a shallower league, those guys are probably going to be available.
I mean, Galchenyuk's just been nothing for Montreal. Not at least not where they wanted him to ever be.
Yeah, and they don't really have that center depth.
No.
That's really their weak spot. And if they add either or,
It would kind of be scary to have 6'7" Martin Hansel in front of a goalie with Max Pacioretty shooting.
yeah. He would never. I mean, Max Pacioretty can snipe anyone already. Take away the goalie's vision even more. Now you really got a problem.
Yeah. I think he would be a great fit there. Fans would love him. I mean, he's a little injury prone, but for right now, he's going to do everything for you. He'll get you hits, he'll get you shots, he'll get you points. He plays on the power play for the Coyotes. he's just a solid all-around player right now.
Also, a good sneaky little pickup, kind of in the later rounds, was Artem Anisimov this year, though.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, whatever.
Kind of showed it last year, and everyone's kind of like, that's a fluke. It's a fluke.
Yeah, like I always kind of
was the
saw
same
it
way.
there, like when he was with the Rangers. I always saw Artem Anisimov's potential. This year, 20 goals, 20 assists,
Yeah.
40 points in 50 games. That's pretty solid for, I mean, obviously he's playing in Chicago. He's got good line mates, so that helps. But, Ryan O'Reilly is throwing together a pretty decent season for himself.
Yeah, most of that team is. A lot of people going out. Sam Reinhart's up and down.
Yeah.
That with Eichel back for the past few weeks, he's kind of fallen back off again.
Sam Gagner was a surprise earlier this year, too.
Yeah, he was.
He was the thing that killed him for me, which made him not at all interesting to me, was his time on ice.
Yeah.
He was only still getting 10 to 12 minutes of ice time a game, which is a category in our league, but he was being put on the power plays. I mean, now it's, that magic seems to have faded away and it's not there anymore. But I mean, for a fourth line guy, he's put up 36 points or 34 points this year, 14 goals, 20 assists.
That's not really that bad.
15 on the power play,
Yeah.
but he's over 100 shots on goal for a fourth line player. That's not bad.
If you're looking for some scoring, trying to find some players to trade with, I mean, you have Torrey Krug's not scoring the points, but he's getting those assists.
David Perron is also another
David
one.
Perron.
David Perron's annoys me to no end, though, because I've seen him on the waiver wire. I noticed that he maybe had a goal or two, and 2 goals in his last couple games. I'm like, all right, I'll pick him up. I'll hold on to him for 4 games. No goals, no assists, no shots, terrible time on ice. I'll drop him. Next game, he'll have 2 goals, 5 shots. The game after that, he'll have another goal. I'll pick him back up, and he'll stop doing it again. I'm like, could you just do that when you're on my team or and I noticed it with other people that have picked him up too. They pick him up and he does nothing. They drop him, he's on fire. I mean, he's got 32 points this year, which for our league, which is a 12-team league, so you got to dig down deep, and our waiver wire is pretty bone dry.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if you want any kind of players, you really need to just try to make some trades.
Yeah, even just little trades. Like, you and me have made a couple trades, and they usually involve, just kind of like an extra guy in there that's kind of
just like
he's better than anything you're going to get on waivers, but he's not really super valuable.
Yeah. If you're looking for some late players, maybe you can find a little bit on the cheaper end. Try to find like a Matt Zuccarello. See if you can get a offer on him to one of the lower teams. Mm-hmm. He'll be a good boost to any team, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna score a lot of goals for you,
No,
but he gets an assist like every single game.
Yeah, he'll show up and get you what you need. Kyle Palmieri.
Yep. Sebastian Aho.
Yeah.
Also another good, kind of lesser known guy, but he's definitely worth the pickup if you need someone who gets shots and will get you some points.
Yeah, he was one of the 6 rookies I had at the beginning of our year.
Yes, he's now on my team because he's been a little bit streaky.
Yeah. Well, Kyle Palmieri has his 15 goals, 18 assists, but he looks like he's starting to get some more points on the year. You might be able to find him pretty cheap. If you're looking for that extra player in one of your bids and stuff, he can probably fill a good slot for you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely agree with you there.
Pasternak's been really hot of late.
Yeah, there have been some guys that have been trending up and kind of surprisingly late. Like usually by this time, yeah, Boston's been trending.
She's been on fire.
Yeah, Bergeron was slow to start the year. I mean, he had like 120 shots and like 6 goals. It's like your shooting percentage is terrible, but
I still beat that out. And what was that last year where I had 110 shots and no goals?
You had 1.
Oh, I had 1 goal.
You had 1. Yeah, that was quite the interesting week for you. Yeah, I mean, you already touched on Christian Dvorak. He's been turning it around lately.
Yeah, he's starting to get that trust.
Yeah. Oh, and if you ever need a defenseman who will get you a lot of hits, Mark Borowiecki.
Yes.
Keith, you can attest to his 14-hit game that helped you the 1 week.
Yeah, I was down by 30 hits, picked up Mark Borowiecki, and within 2 days, I took it over.
Yeah. And half of that was made up in one game.
14 in the one night, and then I think he had like 9
8 or
the
9
next.
the next night. And I was like... Because there was 1 week also, I think, after that, though, because you dropped him because...
Because I lost time on ice that week already, so I'm like,
Yeah.
screw it.
And
Mark
the next-
Borowiecki, 14 minutes.
The next week, I think I was in the same boat. I had already lost time on ice. I was close enough in hits. I was maybe like 8 or 9 back. I was like, just going to take Borowiecki, whatever. I'll get my hits back. Hit 2. I was like, oh.
Because that's really weird whenever I pick up a guy. Because I'm really good at picking up a guy. I'll pick up Matt Martin, who will get like 6-7 hits a game, and get a hat trick.
Yeah, and no hits.
And no hits.
And then, you pick up a guy for goal scoring, and he'll get 6 hits and 3 blocks.
Yeah, like I've lost a week because I needed 2 shots. So I pick up a guy averaging 3 shots a game. He will get no shots.
I think it was
5
last
hits.
season, actually. You and me were playing, and you were behind on me by, I think it was...
Going into Sunday.
3 or 4 shots going into the last day, and you picked up 3 people, all averaging over 2 or 3 shots a game. And I was like, and I had no more waiver wire pickups left, so I couldn't even match it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to lose shots on goal, and I'm going to lose. And it was like, we were at like 6-5. I was like, I lose that category, I'm done. You got 1 shot between the 3 of them, and that was it.
From a player who doesn't shoot.
Yeah, from one of your random guys, too. They had like nothing. I was like, how did I still win that category?
It was like Sam Bennett and somebody else last year. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
It was that was always fun to watch.
Well, we're now 26 minutes in, I guess. Time to wrap up this week's fantasy talk. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment and let us know how you like this.
And if you have anything you want us to talk about or anything on your mind, let
Yeah.
us know that in the comments, email, Facebook, like our page, subscribe to us on YouTube, and we'll be back next week with another episode.
All right.